Hey folks, Gary here. Boy, I hope you're having a good Thursday. Hey, how many of you had a vocation where you built things, right? Where you had a trade where you built houses, or I was an upholsterer for years and built sofas and all that kind of stuff, where you built things with your hands, or maybe you created things, whatever it might be. And then you come across some of your work later on and it's still in really good shape. That makes you feel awesome. I know for Mara and I, in last fall, because we were moving from BC to Saskatchewan, we ended up staying in a lot of places before we finally got here. And it was funny because most places we stayed, they had Palliser furniture in their house. Some of it I actually built. And I would see that stuff and it was all in really good shape. And you're like, man, we did good work back then. It makes you happy when you see that. Well, Paul's kind of talking about that in Philippians chapter 2, verses 16, 17, 18. So let's just take a look and see what Paul has to say. So dropping back to verse 16. He says, holding fast to the word of life, so that in the day of Christ I may be proud that I did not run in vain or labor in vain. So he starts off by saying, hold fast to the word of life. What does that mean? Hold fast to Scripture. Hold fast to the Bible. Doesn't mean you just hang on to it and hold on to it. It means you read it, but you don't just read it. You do what it says. And he says, if you do that, then I know I did a good job. And that's going to bring him a whole lot of joy. He doesn't want to look back and say, man, it was a waste of time. He wants to look back and say, that was time well spent, right? So he doesn't want to say, so don't let me run in vain. Make sure you keep going. Then he says in verse 17, even if I am to be poured out as a drink offering upon the sacrificial offering of your faith, I am glad and I rejoice with you all. Likewise, you should be glad and rejoice with me. And so he's saying, as a drink offering, once you pour out a drink offering, you can't get it back, right? You pour out that glass of wine upon the ground or upon an altar he's probably talking about here. Once it's poured out, it doesn't come back. He's saying, I have poured out my life for you. He's not saying it in a pride way. He's saying, God called me to do it and I did it. So keep on keeping on with that. And so what can we learn from this lesson? A, someone's poured out their life for you. So act accordingly to that. Not that you really, well, you kind of own, but not that you really own, but just simply because, man, they invested so much in, don't let it be in vain. But the other part is this, find someone to invest in. Find someone to pour your life into to teach them about who Jesus is. Why? So when you reach the end of your days, you can look and say, that was worth it. We did some good work.